Hey, this is Craig Daniels from Craig's Classroom. I hope you've been enjoying my blog on ActiveRain. I wanted to start doing some video tutorials, and I thought I'd start with a topic that came up today, working within ActiveRain and photos, inserting photos, but more specifically how to adjust some of the properties of the photos after you've inserted them, as well as if you want to, you can put hyperlinks to the photos as well. And I also wanted to talk about some of the different browsers. It seems like the different browsers act a little bit differently when it comes to photos and the properties, so I just wanted to show you some of the differences so you could work with the browser that you like best. Let's start off with Internet Explorer. Many people still in Internet Explorer, so I've got a test post here in ActiveRain, and I just wanted to edit this post, and that way I can go ahead and show you some of the aspects Internet Explorer when working with the photo. And I'm not going to talk about actually inserting the photo. We'll save that for a different time. But let's say you've got this far already and you've inserted a photo into your post. And here I've selected the photo. You can see each of the four corners has an editing point, and each of the four sides has an editing point. And you'd think, well, that's great. If I wanted to resize my photo, I could just take that corner and resize it. But one of the problems with Internet Explorer, as you can see here, is that I can take that. Now let me undo back. I can take that, but it's not letting me constrain proportions. My aspect ratio here, if you've seen my blogs, talk about aspect ratio is the ratio of width to the height. When you grab a corner, it's not constraining proportions, so that's a bad thing. So in Internet Explorer, this is the case. You cannot really grab and drag and have it maintain proportions. That's a bad thing. So the way around that is just go up to the toolbar at the top after you've selected the photo, go to the second tab for appearance, and then you can go ahead and then type in a dimension that you want to use, and when I hit tab you'll see that the constrained proportions is checked on. If I enter a width, it's going to automatically calculate a height, and that way, just to do that again, let me make it even smaller. Under the Appearance tab, let's just make it quite a bit smaller, 200, tab, it automatically calculates the height, and you can see then it constrained the proportions, so that's a good thing. So you don't, in Internet Explorer that is, you don't want to drag the corners. That it just doesn't hold the proportions. If you wanted to insert a hyperlink here, you just go up to the toolbar, hit the hyperlink button, and you can go ahead and enter your HTTP hyperlink reference. So Internet Explorer makes it pretty straightforward. The only quirk is about the dragging. You don't want to drag the corners. Go into the properties. Let's switch over to Firefox next, and let's go ahead and edit the post here in Firefox. Same type of thing. The good news with Firefox is when I select a photo, I can drag the corners, and you'll see that it is, no matter where I move my mouse here, it's going to constrain the proportions equally, height and width. So that's a really cool feature about Firefox that lets you do that. Now, you do not want to grab an edge, because the same thing happens is that you're going to stretch and squish if you grab an edge. See what you can do there with the edge. So that's a bad thing. You don't want to stretch or squish. Grab a corner. That way it's proportional, and it keeps that aspect ratio intact. And the same simple way, if you wanted to make that into a hyperlink, you can just hit that hyperlink button on the toolbar and go ahead and enter your HTTP reference. The last browser that I'm going to show is Google Chrome. Now, Google Chrome happens to be my favorite browser. In this particular case, it's of the three, it's actually the most, you might say, quirky as far as editing pictures within ActiveRain. That's just unfortunate. And for me, I'm not going to flip around back to Firefox or different things just to insert a picture. What I want to do is just teach you that, okay, there's some quirkiness here in Chrome, but once you know it, it's not so bad that you can work around it. And for me, Chrome excels and shines in many different ways. It's going to maintain it as my favorite browser, and I'm just going to work around the problems that posting pictures has in ActiveRain. So here's the thing. If I click on a picture in Chrome, it does not select the picture. Okay, so you'd say, what do I do now? Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, as if I was going to move this picture, if I click on it and drag it, See, I'm dragging it, and all I got to do is just move it ever so slightly, but now it's highlighted my picture for me. I didn't actually move it, but by taking that action as if I was going to move it, it highlighted it. But you notice up in the toolbar, my hyperlink tool is not active yet. So I'm going to click one more time on the picture, and all of a sudden my hyperlink tool comes into focus here. I can go ahead and type in my hyperlink reference. So again, if you click it and drag it just a little bit, just as if you were going to move it, let it go, click it again, that activates the toolbar. So the other thing is, in Chrome, the handles don't appear. So there is no choices to drag a corner or an edge. So you have to go into the picture properties under the Appearance tab, and here's where you could set an actual dimension just by typing it in. Keep the Constraint Proportions on and go ahead and update it. So it's not as convenient as dragging a corner, but you can see that it does work. And for me, I'm going to stick with Chrome, and once I know those different things you can do, you can work around it. So there you have it. Short little lesson today talking about working with photos in ActiveRain, and I wanted to cover some of the different aspects of the different browsers and just some peculiarities from each one of the different browsers. But now, depending on the browser that's your choice, you'll know how to deal with some of the properties for pictures, also for inserting hyperlinks. Well, that's it for today's class. I hope you learned something new.